Supermarket giant starts accepting Bitcoin payments via Lightning in Switzerland. And how many locations are there? 13,000 across 48 countries. Massive, no doubt. And the reason why that's so powerful is because supermarkets, they have very low margins, right? They have a lot of food, they have a lot of volume, but their margins are fairly low. And so when you have low margin businesses like a supermarket, that is a perfect fit for Lightning. Do you know why? Because let's say that this supermarket had 10% margins on their food, average of 10% margins. Every time somebody pays with their Visa card or debit card or MasterCard at Spar, they get charged 2 or 3%. So that 2 or 3% cuts into that very small margin. But if you start accepting Lightning instead, there's no merchant fees, there's no transaction fees there. So all of a sudden you go from 10% to 13%. And at that volume, at that scale, that's a massive, massive net positive for that business. So there's going to be a lot of these very low margin, tight margin businesses who realize the importance of Lightning. And probably for the first couple of years, they won't have much traction, but eventually, like this is going to be massive for companies like this, for companies with low margins, because they don't have to pay the merchant fees anymore. And that's a huge deal. Oh, and Daniel makes a really good point here. I forgot to mention this in the video. Don't forget about the instant final settlement. So in addition to saving 2 or 3% on the merchant fees, the other nice thing about that, the other benefit for businesses is that when somebody pays in Lightning, those sats show up instantly. Final settlement instantly. And if you compare that to, and a lot of people wouldn't know this, but anytime you pay for something at the store, at a grocery store, let's say you get your groceries for the week, you go to pay, you pay with your Visa card or your debit card or whatever, any card. It comes out of your account that day, but it doesn't show up in their account for 2, 3, 4 days. And for any business, that's a big difference between getting it instantly and having to wait 2 or 3 or 4 days to receive that money. Somebody took the product out of your store, somebody took the money out of their account, but it takes 2 or 3 days for that money to show up in your account. That is fucking insane. That is so archaic. And people don't even realize it because the average person has no idea that that even happens. They think that you make a payment with your credit card and the business gets it that day. That's the same for supermarkets. That's the same for your coffee shop. Ian, I don't know if Ian's here or not today, but if somebody bought a coffee at Ian's shop, that coffee's gone, what you paid for as the business owner. That money came out of your customer's account, but that money doesn't show up in your account for 2 or 3 days. And today, it probably wouldn't show up for 5 or 6 days because you got Good Friday, you got Saturday, you got Sunday, you got Easter Monday, you probably got another day to process it. That payment might be 5 or 6 days before it shows up in your account as the business owner. That is so insane. And that's just another reason, one of tens of thousands, why Bitcoin is going to win. Maybe Spar Group is a good stock to buy at $1 per share. Yeah, I mean, it would depend on, I would say so. Because the only thing that's going to happen, here's what you have to understand. The only thing that's going to happen for Spar is their margins are going to improve. Their profits are going to improve. And as a shareholder, that should be the only thing that you care about. Most people who invest in the stock market have no idea what the profits of the companies that they own are and how sustainable those are going to be. So Spar Group implementing Bitcoin is only going to do one thing: increase profits. That's it. Even if 50 people in 2025 use Lightning, that's still going to improve their profits. Nobody's going to walk into Spar and say, you know what? they accept Bitcoin, I'm finding a new place. Right? So the first thing there is that it is only going to move in one direction. Their profits are only going to improve. The second one would be dependent on how much of that Bitcoin that they take in do they keep. Because if another grocery chain in a month from now decides that they're also going to accept Lightning, which will happen, and they actually hold on to their Bitcoin, then that over time is going to lose against the other grocery store. So yes, I agree. At $1.11 per share, if that was the price before they started accepting Bitcoin, I would be buying it. But I'm not going to, because I would rather just hold the asset, hold Bitcoin. Cleaning machine. If a customer pays today for the work that you do today, the money comes out of their bank today, you won't get the money until Tuesday, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days from now. Insane. It's insane. The fact that I can sit here in this location that I'm in and do a live stream on the internet, perfectly clear, and anybody on the planet can watch that live stream. But when I make a payment at a business, it takes 5 days for that money, for that information. It's not like they're sending the fucking cash to that business. It is insane that it takes that long. And nobody cares, because nobody knows that that's the case. And nobody knows that there's a better way to do it. But there is, and it's called Bitcoin on Lightning. And once people figure that out, once the green light turns on, it never shuts off. Because once you understand that, once you see it, it's like, what are we doing here?